All you see is heartache everywhere. Oh, hello, my name is Franny Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. Now, for those of you who have seen my videos on the YouTubing, I was telling you all about fracking, but today I am doing a public service announcement. This is my first PSA. Hooray! My friends came and said, Francis, they call me Franny. Everybody calls me Franny. If you're a friend of mine, call me Franny. If you're not, you call me Miss Fracker. Remember that Janet Jackson song? Miss Jackson if you're nasty. Anyway, I'm here to do my public service announcement for Protect Our Loveland. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, why are you tuning into this? No, I'm just kidding. Protect Our Loveland is a grassroots organization that was created here in Loveland, Colorado in response to the fact that they was going to start fracking here in the city and some citizens had some concerns. So I'm doing this PSA because after a long time and a long mess and a big old lawsuit, they're finally going to get to vote. And we want to tell you how that's going to happen because it's very complicated. It shouldn't have been, but it is. So I'm going to tell you about Protect Our Loveland. I'm going to tell you what they've been doing. I'm going to tell you why they've been doing it. I'm going to tell you about the special election, because if you're a registered voter in Loveland, you need to know about this. It's very important. And it's going to be complicated, and we tried not to do that, but there are some forces here in town that made sure things is going to be different than what we planned, but that's all right. We can make lemons with lemonade. We can make lemonade with lemons is the way we're going to do it, all right? Now, Protect Our Loveland, as I said, is a grassroots organization. Now, what happened was these people found out that they was going to start fracking. Now, do you know what fracking is? It's a process, it's part of a process of oil and gas extraction. Now when they come in to do that, it's a heavy industrial process. Now usually what happens is a heavy industrial process is put off in different parts of the city and the Planning Commission takes care of that. But because of regulations with the state, with the COGCC, they basically said we can come in there and do this anywhere we want to. And we said, well, okay. The citizens said, well, we had some questions. You know, we've been finding out about this and we had some questions and we wanted the city council to take a look at our concerns, and city council said no. That's kind of what they said. That's what it amounted to. So what they did was they worked on regulations. They worked on getting up to regulations because they weren't ready. See, they weren't ready for this oil and gas to come into town because there's a heavy industrial process and they don't usually bring those things into town. So what they did was they got ready with them regulations. And some of the citizens kept coming to city council and saying, well, we have concerns about our health. We're reading some things, but that this is a dangerous, things blow up. And they leak, and some people are getting sick, and we want to check this out. So city council said, well, if you want to do that, then you better go find out if anybody else is interested, because well, that's another story. So anyway, this Protect Our Loveland organized themselves and went and they got themselves a citizens initiative. You see? Now what they did was they went out and they got the amount of signatures necessary so the people in Loveland could vote on it. Now let me get down to what we're doing with this PSA. We're trying to tell you about the vote. It got delayed. Now that's another whole story, and I understand that that story is probably going to be coming into light real soon, but right now we're going to tell you that it got delayed last September when the majority of the councils wouldn't put it forward because there was a challenge to the petition signatures. Went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and finally the judge said, put it on the ballot. She's a ticking. I don't know if you've been watching my other Franny Fracker videos, but this is my little chicken timer, and she's here to tell me when my time is up. Even though I got some friends here that are going to tell me, oh, she stopped. Oh, she's starting. La gukara cha, la gukara cha. Anyway, so now the special election's coming up. Now what the city council did is they put it on the ballot. It's going to be a special election, you understand? But what they did was they made sure that it was going to happen on the same day as the primary here in Larimer County. So that makes it kind of complicated. So now here's the important part. Are you listening? Here's the important part. There's going to be a primary election for the Republicans, and you're going to get, if you're a registered Republican, you're going to get a ballot to vote. But On that same thing, you're also going to get an envelope with a ballot to vote on this special election about putting the 2-year moratorium in place so that we can take a look at some of these other reports coming in about fracking and make up a better mind once we're more informed. Okay? Now, if you're not a Republican and you're a Democrat or unaffiliated or a teabagger or a green person or this or that, you're going to get a ballot as well, but you're only going to get one. Now, if you're a Republican, you got to keep them 2 envelopes separate. If you put both them ballots in the same envelope, neither one of them's going to get counted, right? You want your vote counted. So, be sure to put your Republican primary in one envelope. That goes to the county. Then you put your other special election vote in the other envelope, and that goes to the city. All right? Anybody else, you're just going to get that one envelope if you live in the city of Loveland, and you're going to vote on whether you want a 2-year moratorium. Now, do you understand what that term is? Moratorium. I was going to bring my dictionary. I looked it up. It just means time out. You play football, you play basketball, you play anything, time out. All that means is hold it, stop a minute, we got something we want to check out here. And then that's what this is. And basically it says we want, this is the purpose. Here, let me read this. To protect property values, public health, safety, and welfare by placing a moratorium on the use of hydraulic fracturing to extract oil or gas or other hydrocarbons within the city of Loveland in order to study the impacts of the process. We want more information. Now here's the thing. The industry, the oil and gas industry, has been giving us all kinds of information. But the problem is they are a business and they're interested in selling their product. And in order to get their product to sell, they have to get it out of the ground. And in order to get it out of the ground, they got to frack. Okay? So, of course, they're going to tell you what they think you need to know, and that's all they're going to tell you. Now, one of the big concerns for a lot of people here in Loveland is the information that's been coming out about how this is harmful to children. I'm not telling you that it is or it isn't. I'm not a scientist. You have to make up your own mind, but there's information, that's what I'm trying to tell you, there's information that we need to have a really good understanding of what's going on before the drilling starts, because once the drilling starts, once it spills, once it emits, once it blows up, it's done. Whether you can clean it up or not's another question, but once it happens, it happens. You understand what I'm saying? And regulation doesn't prevent that. They try, but things happen. So, now, here's one of the things I looked up. If you're living in Loveland and your dog poops in the yard, you gotta pick it up. Why? Well, it's messy and it's terrible. But if it's in a public area, children could get into that, and then they could get sick. That's why they're going to charge you $1,000, not because it isn't pretty, not because people don't like it in there. It's because it could hurt the children. So, if you got to make sure your dog's not pooping and hurting children, we sure better make sure that fracking's not hurting children. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, we're not trying to say it's bad already. Well, stop it, don't do that. This is not a ban, it's a time out. Now, the people who want this not to work, the people who want to frack, are calling it a ban. It's not a ban. Look the word up in the dictionary, moratorium, time out. Okay? 2 years, that's all we're saying. We want some time to take a look at this, and because the city council majority wouldn't do that, we were asked to go out and do this, and we did, and now we're doing it.
Yay.
Now that's what POL says. Now if you want to talk to POL personally, you can do that. All you need to do is go on the, no, I was going to say on the Wikipedia, that's not true. You go on and you go to protectourloveland.org, and then you can go in there and you can get a hold of them through their protectourloveland@gmail.com. If you want to volunteer to help, you can do it there. If you want to help with donations, you can press the little I love PayPal, and you can help there, or you can send money to the P.O. Box. 7425, Loveland, Colorado 80537. Now all of those things are available to you if you're interested. So all I want to do is tell you bye-bye now. If you have questions, go ahead and get a hold of them POLs peoples and just try to pay attention to what's going on. We don't want your children getting sick.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess people who have any kind of challenges, if you have asthma already, or you're COPD or there's something else going on in them lungs, it can cause a problem. Some people are saying that. Not everybody gets affected in the same way. We all know that. We'd all be dropping like flies in Weld County if that was true. They're fracking over there like crazy. There's 30-some wells pumping away. They're going to make it 60,000 soon. And they're right on the edge of Loveland. And Anadarko is a company that's going to come in and start fracking on the east side. Now, one of the other things that some of them councilmen is telling you is that they're only going to frack on the east side. Well, once the door's open, it's open, and that's when we need to know what the possibilities are. All right? All right. I told you I'd stop, and then I kept on going, didn't I? I do that a lot. My friends tell me. Anyway. Now let me give me. I said that they told me if I did this PSA, I could do a plug. So I'm a plugging. I am doing a series on the YouTubing called Franny Fracker Tells You All About It. Tells you all about what, Franny? Well, fracking, of course. And I got about 11 episodes. We're going to put them into little pods of 3 each, I think it is, so that people don't have to keep a clicking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can just go right in and look at 3 at a time, 3 at a time, 3 at a time. Going to tell you all about fracking. And I'm going to tell you right now, same thing I did there. You make up your own mind. Find out about this. It's important, and it's happening everywhere. Everywhere. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, California, Tennessee. I don't know. It's all over the place. North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, they're doing it. Utah, they're doing it everywhere. You need to find out what it's all about. All right? All right. Do I have any questions from my audience? I have an audience here.
Yes.
Questions? Anybody? Crickets. Crickets, it just, can you hear the crickets? Nobody's asking a darn thing. I guess everybody understands then how you going to do your special election. You understand?
Yes.
If you're a Republican, you're going to get 2 envelopes. If you're a Democrat, you're only going to get 1. If you're unaffiliated, you're only get 1. If you're unaffiliated, you're only get 1. Here's the thing.
Keep them separate.
Fracking doesn't care what political party you belong to. Fracking doesn't care if you're a Republican. Fracking doesn't care if you're a Democrat. Fracking doesn't care if you're unaffiliated. The air is the air, the water's the water, the kids are the kids, and okay, bye.